This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to our powers, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have told us this truth, that the cons ruling well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. A peace, mercy, and blessings to the beloved Akim that are out there pushing this word wholeheartedly in truth and in sincerity, that are not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly stand on that straight and narrow, fighting for your crowns in these last days that we are truly living in. Shalom to the few sisters, the Akwafs that are out there, and even shalom to the Israelite foreigners, those that may look like the other nations, but their seed line goes back to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hearty shalom, shalom. All right, Lord's willing, this lesson is edifying through the Holy Spirit concerning what news and prophecy. All right, World War III topics. All right, concerning how these other nations are pretty much in turmoil, in a perplexed state amongst each other. Okay, and dealing with this article right here with the Israelis, they vow Rafah ground assault by Ramadan if hostages are not freed. Okay, and when you look at what these Israelis have been doing unto those Palestinians, the world is starting to look at them in a very shameful light, okay? And the way that they're pushing them from northern Gaza all the way down to the southern regions, pretty much leading into Egypt, is stirring up conflict over in that area, okay? And we seen, what took place during the Super Bowl, while everybody was distracted with the bread and circus. Everybody was, paying attention to, the football game. They got aerial striked, okay, in a so-called safe zone, all right? And that's what got these other nations looking at, okay, the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, looking at him sideways because of their inhumane acts towards these individuals. Let's read a little bit into this, okay, before I move forward. It says, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his military would finish the job in Gaza, saying a hostage release can be achieved through strong military action and tough negotiation. But when you think, this sounds like it's got to be some type of excuse for them to just continuously commit mass murder and genocide. Even though we don't advocate for these individuals, and the land that they're fighting over is not their land, period. It's the land of the children of Israel, all right? The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay? Nevertheless, the world is watching the things that are taking place. And these actions are going to lead to what? More war amongst these regional nations around each other, okay? And we're starting to see that, because now you have Egypt speaking up, saying there will be dire consequences if you keep pushing these people into our land, okay? On top, you have those Houthis that are preparing themselves, okay, to take a strike measure against them while they're having Ramadan, okay? So these things is going on as we speak. Let's keep reading, right? It says, Brussels, all European Union's countries except Hungary, warned Israel on Monday against launching an offensive in Rafah, that they would deepen the catastrophe of some 1.5 million refugees crammed into the city of southern edge of Gaza. An attack on Rafah would be absolutely catastrophic. It would be unconscionable. Ireland's Foreign Minister Michael Martin said before a meeting of foreign ministers from the 27 EU member states in Brussels. All right, so the economic union members, they're speaking up against what these 1948ers are doing. Okay, let me get this real fast in the book of Luke, because this is an embarrassment. You know, we always go into how the least shall draw them out. All right, these devils, they know that they're running out of time, so they're moving in haste. They're being sloppy with what they're doing. This is Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the suns and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. So these nations are in a perplexed state. Okay? Let's look up this word perplexity. Let's go over here to the masculine sense of it. Aporeo.
Strong's G 639. Apareo. Apareo.
Apareo. All right, which means to be without resource. A lot of countries are fighting over resources as we speak. It says to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed. Okay? And that's how these 1948ers are looking. They're looking very embarrassing right now. All right, to the world, where their own allies are even speaking up against them because of their wickedness. Okay? The evils that they're doing. Everybody's pointing the finger and watching how you Edomites are moving in these last days, and they have a problem with it. Revelation 17 will take place. Okay? Allies will turn on each other. Especially allies will turn on the West. Because the West financially and physically supports, okay, Israel as of now, as they've been have doing. It says to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn. Okay? So again, a lot of these countries, they're being robbed of the resources. They're being put in a difficult position. And the Lord has other bigger nations that are lining themselves with these smaller nations that are having to deal with the sanctions and the different measurement that these other that especially the West and these countries are allying, putting themselves against. They're starting to help them out with more equipment, more military aid, more structure, more finances and resources, different trade agreements. Okay, so World War III is brewing up very, very fast. Before I read some more on this article, let me grab something real fast. All right, let me go over here real fast, okay? So as I mentioned, as they keep pushing them down, this is the headline from the End Time News headline, one of the headlines. It says Egypt warns that Israel's planned ground invasion of Rafah would have catastrophic repercussions for peace in the Middle East, okay? Because they know that a part of Esau's measures is that he likes to force refugees into different nations, and the fact that the refugees are there, it causes that nation to have to spend more resources to do not more than support, feed, shelter, all right, and aid these individuals, which means that it's going to take money from the people that actually live in that country, which is a part of a plan to cause, what is it, pretty much an economic meltdown in their society, which is an overload tactic, because they've been using that cloud pivot strategy for different nations, not just okay what they're doing right now to the U.S. All right. See where I'm at. All right. So it says Egypt warns on Tuesday that Israel planned ground invasion of Rafah and southern Gaza would have catastrophic repercussions for peace in the Middle East. Foreign ministers from Arab League countries told the United Nations human rights councils that some nations were turning a blind eye to the suffering in Gaza. Egypt Foreign Minister Sameh Shakri said the extreme polarization exposed by the Gaza war had laid bare the double standard of some members of the UN top right body, because now they can no longer not pay attention to what is going on. Them 1948, they're moving too fast. But that's what the scriptures say. The scriptures say what? That let's get that real fast. Revelation 12:12. Okay? The devil, knowing that he have but a short time, he's coming down with great wrath. So he's bringing wrath. There's no way that they're over there bombing them people like that, pushing them down further into the section of Egypt that they just got somebody held hostage. Them people is running for their lives, you know, hoping to survive another day, and they got babies plastered against the wall, you know, looking like a damn pancake, a smushed pancake. You know what I'm saying, with their legs and limbs blown off. Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, the devil knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, so he's moving fast, and these other nations are looking at him sideways like that, like goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to chill out. These people don't have nowhere to go. What more do you need from them? You know? But see, Esau gonna keep going. He gonna keep going till something major happens. Let me keep reading, right? It says, Israel has said a truce with Hamas would delay, not prevent, a ground invasion of Rafah on the Egyptian border, where an estimate of 1.4 million Palestinian civilians have sought refuge from the war. The world is witnessing the most heinous crimes and violations against the Palestinian people. Shakri said he called for an immediate ceasefire and urged Israel not to attack Rafah. So, you know, if you want to read some more into that, Lord's willing, I'll post that into the description box. But I got one more before I go back to the main article. Let me see if I could type it in real fast. Let me see, what the heck is this? I don't know what that is. But let me do this real fast. Houthis. Yep. Houthis prepare. Here it is. Now, this is a day ago. This is from the Hindu News. It says the Houthis say they can reassess Red Sea attacks if Israeli aggression stops. All right. So they don't mind stopping those attacks on them different ships. All right. That's going through the Red Sea. But it all depends on if the Israelis going to back down, which more than likely them Israelis they're not gonna put forth a ceasefire. Even Biden out of his own mouth made a statement saying pretty much what happened during the Super Bowl was like part of the plan, you know. So this is what they have in planned. You know what I'm saying? This is what they have in plan, and we know that personally too. They also want to eliminate the competition by taking over the Gaza Strip and being able to build the Ben Gurion Canal that's going to lead into the Aqaba Sea, which also connects into the Red Sea, because the Egyptians they pretty much have control over the Gulf of Suez. All right, so that means that they could cut out the middleman and directly have dealings amongst, you know, their partners and make that money for themselves, man. Okay, because everything's all about greed and control when it comes down to these Edomites. If they don't have control over it, they will rape, rob, and murder in order to get it. The scriptures say that the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill. Okay, the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill. All right. Let me get this one first real fast. Let me get the one in Habakkuk real fast. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. Verse 4 says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Talking about these Edomites, but the just shall live by his faith. All right, we have faith in these words. The elect of Israel in these last days. Okay, Lord willing to the end. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges desire as hell. Look, it says he transgressive by wine. All that democracy he be spewing to these other nation, he be transgressing against his own words. And then throwing stones and act like he ain't done it. But now look, the whole world is now seeing him. How inhumane this man really is. And how he's getting put up on charges for the atrocities. He's a proud man, trying to hold himself not guilty. Okay? It says, neither keepeth at home who enlarges his desire as hell and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. Let's get that where it says the thief cometh not, but to steal and to kill. Okay, steal and kill. Okay. Here it is. John chapter 10, verse 10. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Okay. All right. And we know that the first murderer is your forefather from the beginning, Esau, which was Cain. Okay. And later on, that same spirit went into Esau as he was born from Isaac and Rebekah in the womb of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau. So the Lord is coming to save the elect of Jacob, his progeny. All right. And when we speak on the atrocities and the evils that are brought into the world are coming through the sons of Esau, who is Edom. Okay. That have changed their names. Jacob Rothschild, he now knows that he is an Edomite. Okay. And he knows that he has fell from his heaven. All right. And he's getting ready to what? Catch some hell. Okay, because he's getting ready to be under the Israelites just as well as the rest of you heathens, because what you are doing to the world. All right. Nevertheless, let me go back. Okay, let me go back. So let's read a little bit of this, right? Okay, it says Yemen Houthis said they would only reconsider their missiles and drone attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea once Israel ends its aggression in the Gaza Strip on February 27, asked if they would halt the attack if a ceasefire deal is reached. Houthi spokesman Mohammed Abdulsalam told the Reuters that the situation would be reassessed if the siege of Gaza ended and humanitarian aid was free to enter. Okay, which you know, the Israelis, they don't want nobody to enter into the to help out those Palestinians. Um, you know, but they may ceasefire just for Ramadan. You know, who knows? All right, but then again, you might have it to where these Houthis attack them while they trying to celebrate their wickedness. You know, it says there would be no halt to any operation that help Palestinian people except when the Israeli aggression on Gaza and the siege stopped. He said ahead of news reporters of another suspected attack. A Marshall Island flag Greek-owned bulk carrier on Tuesday reported that a missile hit the water 3 nautical miles from the ship, which was located 63 nautical miles northwest of Hodeidah, Yemen. British maritime security firm Aubrey said in an adversary note. All right, so they send out different missiles, probably bombing different boats, getting bombed in return. So, but they're making bold threats. You know, that's what I'm reading. They're making bold threats, saying either comply or even if you do upheld Ramadan, that we're gonna step in, you know, which is furthering what more escalation. So this is what wars and rumors of wars. You know, scripture say, "Well, be ye not troubled, for the end is not yet." You know what I'm saying? But these nations are definitely speaking up. Okay, um, but we are definitely close. So let's go back. Let me see. So I know it might be just a little bit more in this article, the main article. All right, so you got 26 EU countries. Check the time. 26 EU countries warn Israel against catastrophic Rafah offense. Okay, so mind you, the EU economic union, but then you got NATO. So the economic union is the more of the economic part. All right, the money, the finances between the allied members. You know, politics, things of that nature. But then you got NATO, which is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That's part of the military might, right? Which there's also news going on about Russia uh, moving around certain nuclear arsenal that can't be even detected by satellites because of the technology they got, you know, and they're bringing more troops even into Ukraine. So it's a lot of wars and rumors being talked about right now. So let me read that over from this paragraph right here. It says an attack on Rafah would be absolutely catastrophic. It would be unconscionable, Ireland Foreign Minister Michael Martin said before a meeting of foreign ministers from the 27 EU member states in Brussels. After the talk ended, all but one of them called in a joint statement for an immediate humanitarian pause. All but one. See? All but one. They looking, these Israelis are looking shameful. They're bloodthirsty. They're looking shameful. All right? They don't know when to stop. They just know how to kill and steal. It says pause that would lead to a lasting ceasefire, the unconditional release of all hostages, and the provision of humanitarian assistance. The statement was issued in the name of the foreign minister of the 26 member states of the European Union, and diplomats said Hungary, a close ally of the Israeli government. So even Hungary is even speaking. That's a close ally. Was the sole country that did not sign up. Okay, so Hungary did not sign up. You know, it says we asked the Israeli government not to take military action in Rafah that would worsen an already catastrophic humanitarian situation and prevent the urgent need provision of basic service and humanitarian assistance. The minister said Israel is preparing to mount a ground invasion of Gaza's southernmost city, which has called a last bastion of Hamas control. Let me see, what's that word bastion mean? I don't know what that means. I'm learning too as I rereading these articles. Bastion. Let me see. A last bastion. Okay, it says bastion, a projecting part of a fortification built at an angle, okay, to the line of a wall so as to allow defensive fire in several directions. Institution, place of persons strongly defending, upholding particular principles, attitudes. So this is they pretty much at their last defense. If a ground invasion goes in and they get an aerial strike at the same time, them people ain't gonna last long. All right, which is gonna lead to others having to step in if they gotta be forced into those landmass, especially Egypt, because them Egyptians, they don't want them in their land. Okay, them Palestinians ain't got nowhere to go. All right, so it's causing perplexity. All right, agitation. It's an agitation to these other countries, all because of the of how these Israelis is moving these 1940s Amalekites, man. It says so it has called a last bastion of Hamas control after nearly 5 months of fighting. Israel accuses Hamas fighters of hiding amongst civilians something that militant groups deny and say extraordinary measures were being taken to avoid civilian casualties. But EU foreign policies chief Joseph Borrell said it would be impossible to prevent civilian deaths, right? Because war, people die in war, right? So that's true. We have to continue putting pressure on Israel to make them understand that there are so many people in the streets of Rafah, it would be impossible to avoid civilian casualties, he said. All right, so I just read you got the Houthis, you got uh, Egypt speaking up, you got uh, Ireland speaking up, you know, you had 26 members of the EU speaking up. Okay, so you can look up the 27 members and see the one that didn't speak up. All right, so yeah, people are watching what is going on, taking place. All right, so this is as of late. All right, but like we've been saying, all right, when we see these things arise, we know that what is definitely going to lead to a major war. Okay, major war. You know, um, Isaiah 51. All right, and 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. All right, so not only is Babylon is going to be target, but also them Israelis, they're going to be target too. That destroying wind is going to be what? Them ICBM missiles, all right, them nuclear missiles, man. Okay, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. Okay, so people got their eyes on America too. All right, people getting tired, like them what is it, Ghanaians, them Ghanaians. They don't want that Bati boy nonsense up in their land. You know what I'm saying? And they just came out and said that, I forget what people were part of them, that they Israelites, which we've been saying, but they don't want that democracy and that demonic energy over there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these nations are looking at how America and how these 1940s have polluted the whole world. All right, and people are getting tired of it. It says that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. All right, so it's not talking about an actual, part of the army which is going to have arrows and they're going to shoot them off. Not physically, it's talking about, spiritually, these nuclear missiles are set up like our archers that are going to shoot off the arrows, and they're going to have specific targets and destinations. Okay, to utterly what? Waste and destroy, to burn. The scriptures say what? That this war is not going to be as regular wars, but it's going to be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay? It says, Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, though. All right? So America's going to get destroyed, and then the elect, that's here in Babylon the Great, all right? And the Lord's going to pick up. The Lord say he's going to come from the east, make his way to the west. All right, so the Lord going to pick up the elect and bring them into those ships to not be destroyed by those missiles that fire. All right, which is really what that hell is talking about. Okay, that lake of fire. All right, that burneth in hell. If you could perceive it. Nor Judah of his power, of the Lord of hosts, though the land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. All right, so Israel defiled. All right, America's defiled. All right, so the Lord, he has fire preserved for these places. That's what's going to happen. They're going to get burnt. That's why the Lord going to use other nations to fight against these top level westernized Edomites, man. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there at that. I just wanted to bring out a couple scriptures. Lord willing has been edifying. And I'm going to just say shalom.